due to copyright laws and difficulties sharing the podcast across different platforms, the music unfortunately had to be removed from the original recordings. I hope this doesn't spoil your enjoyment or interrupts the flow too much.
You are an Iron Man!
Welcome to episode 14 with Orla Colton. Just wanted to do a quick introduction to this podcast. Orla and I had a great conversation. She's a very, very strong and inspiring lady. However, we did talk about some things that some of the listeners might find upsetting. So I just wanted to give people the heads up on that if there was anybody who has experienced difficulties in previous relationships or is struggling with their mental health, just to let them know in advance in relation to some of the content that we covered in this episode. Anybody that finds that they are struggling when they've listened to this, please feel free to get in touch with myself by sending me a message through the social media channels. I've also put a link to information in relation to domestic abuse in the description of the podcast for anybody that would find that useful. So we have reached episode 14. This will be my 10th interview with Orla Colton. Orla, I'm delighted to have you on the podcast and looking forward to having a chat with you.
Thank you very much, Mickey, and thanks for the invite. It's a pleasure.
Not a problem. Orla, you and I have been friends for a right while, for certainly a number of years, and I'm always amazed to see that you're doing so well. And I know that you have, as far as I can see, picking up a lot of medals in the Omagh Harriers colours. Talk me through that there. Where are we at the minute?
Well, at the minute we are now training for the Northern Ireland Masters, and that's in June, end of June. It's actually my favourite competition. It's up in the Mary Peters track, and we just have a great day. So I've decided this year that I am going to put myself out there and do, I know you do Ironman or Man, but I'm doing 300 metre hurdles, right, which is pure vomit for me. Right, I made the mistake, there's a lady that I train with, Tina, she comes from Belcoo, and I made the mistake of saying in front of her and Trevor, my coach, I think I might try them, 300 metres, and then I was like, I looked at them, I said, did I actually say that out loud? So this is what I'm doing, and do you know what, I'm actually enjoying it, so I'll do that, and I'll do the 80 metre hurdles, and I might do shot put, but I kind of want to try and get into long jump again. I haven't done long jump for a while, and it really does deplete your body, so I think I need more than maybe, what is it now, end of May. I probably need more than four weeks. But knowing me, I'll go up and just enter it and give it a rattle.
So the 300 metres hurdles, and I know that probably doesn't sound like a wild jump, but if you're only training for 100 metre hurdles and you jump from 1 to 2, and now you're talking about jumping from 200 to 300, what does that look like for someone, like, I'm not well familiar with track and field, but so, like, in terms of how many hurdles there are and stuff like that, talk me through that stuff, because I don't have a clue.
So when you're masters, when you are over a certain age, so it's 80 metre hurdles that I would do, and that's 8 hurdles over 80 metres. So now the 300 metres, because I'm over 50, it's down to 300 instead of 4. I wouldn't even entertain 4. I'd rather stick pins in my eyes. But so there's, I think it's over 7 hurdles around the 300 metres.
Right,
so it's different, like. It's different, but I like hurling, and I never tried when I first met Trevor, I met Trevor about 5.5 years ago, and I was actually training with the Omaha Harriers. I was doing the longer distance stuff, and I remember talking to Tim Shields, and I said to Tim one day, I was like, I am so bored, I need a goal, I need to do something. And it was actually Tim said to me, well, Orla, you're not a long distance runner, you're a sprinter. And I was like, right. He says, get in contact with this fella here. So he says, just turn up. And I said, no, I'm not turning up, I have to text him. So anyway, I text Trevor, and he was like, yeah, come around. So at the time it was only him and Mark McConnell, and then two were training. So he was like, do you have spikes, and do you have this and that? I was like, no, I've never done this before. Fitting sports day at school, and that was it. So he had me jumping over hurdles and stuff, and that was kind of the start of the hurdles, and because I'd never done them before. And then I remember watching Conkey. He was training they were doing a pentathlon. It was 5 years ago there in January, and every week they were doing something different. They were doing high jump, and they do long jump. So I just toddled along, would just do long jump or whatever. And Trevor had said to me, you should come down and do this pentathlon with us. And I was like, well, what is it? So it was like, so indoor is 60 metres. So it's 60 metre hurdles. There was shot put, long jump, high jump, and then 800 metres. And I was like, right. And I said, you know what, fuck it, I'll do it. Well, you know me, I'm a chatter. You want to see me that day, till I got my first race over, I was so quiet. So I was like, are you feeling okay? And I was like, no, not well.
Someone get the paramedics.
Oh my God, I was so sick. But getting yourself out of your comfort zone, like. But I remember the first time I ever jumped 5 hurdles was that day in that race. And I actually won my heat.
Brilliant.
And Trevor said to me, Orla, March is the All Ireland indoors. He says, you're jumping the hurdles then, but we'll talk about that on the way home. And in that March, he trained me. And that March, I actually won the gold for the indoor hurdles for my age group.
Class.
So but you know what? Trevor's a great coach.
And you've done long jump and shot put, and you've tried everything. So where you're settling now with hurdles? Are you focused?
Settling with hurdles, that's usually my main thing. And for some reason, I love shot put. Like, I never really trained for it, I just stopped. But I love it. And I do love the long jump, I have to say. So I do want to get back at that. And I like the 100 metre sprint as well. I kind of took a notion of doing 200. I love the indoor 200 metres, but I hate the outdoor. For some reason, I don't know what it is. I think because the indoor's one loop, and I love running a bend, so there's 2 bends on it, which I love.
Yeah.
The 200 metre outdoor is just one bend, and I don't know what it is. I don't know why I dislike I don't dislike it, but I prefer indoor. So no, this is what I'm focusing on now. I'll do 300 metre hurdles, probably the 100 metres, and maybe the 800 or the 80 hurdles in June.
And you compete quite a bit. It's fair to say you're bouncing up and down the country at different sort of meetings here and there, and you're picking up a lot of medals recently over the last year or two, certainly.
I kind of have, and do you know what? I sound a bit blasé about it, and I probably don't give myself as much credit as I should, because it's like I just see this as my hobby, But and you know what? I have to say, it's the main thing is the coach. Like, Trevor McGlynn is one of the best coaches about. He's become a really good friend. He's actually one of my favourite humans.
Right.
He's just mighty, and you know what I love? Even with our athletics group, you can just be you. And like, me, I'm very direct, and a lot of the time I have to dilute myself to kind of be a bit, because people just don't appreciate my directness sometimes, but with them everybody can just be themselves.
There's honesty, and then there's brutal honesty. I think you might fall into the second category there, would you?
But you know what? I don't even realise.
But you know what? There's a lot to be said for it.
Mark will say to me sometimes, you can't say that, and I'm like, why?
Just did.
Well, why can I not say that? Why is that not okay? And that's just how I am. So people who know me know me.
Well, I suppose you are being a bit modest there, because as much as Trevor's a good coach, and I'm not going to take that away at all, but I've heard a lot of nothing but praise for Trevor and the works that he's doing with yourself and with other athletes within the group and within the town. But if it wasn't for you yourself, your sort of strength and your determination and your commitment, you have to turn up.
I know, I have to turn up. Yeah.
You know, it's not like you go out here and you run around that track and you're the only girl on the track.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're competing and you're winning.
Yeah. Okay, I suppose, it's like I say, I'm a bit too blasé about it. I think, is it an Irish thing?
It might be.
Do you know what I mean? But no, I'm very, and do you know what? I'm actually very proud of everything that I've achieved, because, you know, we do go and we train hard, and I do. If I commit to something, I will give it 100%, and I will, like, that's it. If I say I'm going to do it, I'll do it. But we train hard. I do train hard. Like, there's days like last week I can't remember what happened last week, but I wasn't really feeling it, and I just didn't go training. So I do listen to my body, and I think that's a lot with all of us at the track. You know, if, say for instance, we might do, it's always up to, so you could do, like, sometimes it could be 150, so you're doing up to 10. So if you feel it at 4 and you're not, that's it, you're done, then that's it, you're done, that's your session.
Yeah.
You know, so we are very good at listening to our bodies, because, you know, we're not training for the Olympics. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This is our hobby, and we have to keep ourselves as fit and as well as possible. You know,
I think there's a lot to be said for that too, because you can get caught up in training.
Yeah.
Can't you?
Oh, without a doubt.
You know, and you can find yourself, and I know I am guilty of this as well, whereby you're sitting in the house and maybe there's not much doing, and you're thinking, "That's friggin', I'll go out for a run," and you should no more be going out for a run. You should be just having that relaxing evening.
Yeah, without a doubt. Rest is so important. But no, I've got very good at that. Like, I go to the gym, I train with Mark twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, and I do find his training, like, it's keeping me injury free. You know, it really is. And we're at the track mostly twice a week. So we'll do a Thursday evening, and that's our coaching day, and then me and Tina will go on a Sunday, and there's a few others will go on a Sunday as well. So Thursday evening and Sunday morning's the 2 track days, you know. But and then it's just life's busy, you know. But I enjoy my training.
So in terms of what that training looks like, what's you know, am I right in saying that because you're now more interested in those sort of short, explosive events, your training probably looks very, very different from my training with regards to triathlon training. And I'm going out sort of running 5 or 6 or 8 miles, you know, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and then I'm swimming 2 kilometres, something like that there, and then I'm out biking about 50 or 60 mile, and it's all zone 2. I would assume maybe firing up on explosive stuff.
Yeah, we'd be very explosive.
Strength-based stuff, or everything.
Everything. Like, a lot of the time we would be coming out of the blocks. You know, there's a session there you might do, so you're coming out of the blocks, you might do to 10 metres, and then you do 20 metres, 30 metres. So it's just teaching you of where your body's supposed to be at each stage. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So when you come out of the blocks when you're 10 metres, really you should have your chest and your head down, and then start bringing them up at that. So that's how Trevor breaks it down for us, and that's what we have to do. There's other days that you could do up to 150s, or then it'll go up to 170, 200s. Bleh, I hate them, but you just get it done. So usually one Thursday is like what we would call a longer distance one, which is up to maybe 200, 300 metres. And then maybe the next week it would be the shorter distance. Like, you might do 100 metres and you will sprint to 30 metres, then you'll cruise to the next 30, and then you'll sprint the last 40. You know, so when you're cruising, you're just focusing on your technique, on where your arms are and where your knees are and how high they are and where your hips are, you know. So it's all about, really, sprinting is about technique and being able to come out of the blocks fast. And if you bring your head up too quick, you kind of, you know, you're starting off too quickly, and it's, you know, if you're down aerodynamic, it's just better for you. Yeah. But again, Trevor breaks that all down. Like, I would never clue. We used to just come out of the blocks, and, you know,
it's amazing how technical things are. You know, the more I'm speaking to people and the more I'm understanding each different person's take on something, there's so much that we can learn. You know, and that's what I'm hoping that this podcast kind of brings to people that kind of think, you know, because it's it's very, very far removed from school sports day, where where you went 3, 2, 1 and you went like the clappers. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. And that's what that's the thing. Like I said at the start, I've only been doing this 5.5 years. Like I was a netballer at school. Do you know what I mean? And that was my thing. I was always a fast runner because at sports day I would always won the 200 or the 100 and the 200 and the long jump. And there's always a girl taller than me beat me in the high jump, and I always came second. But I was a wee short ass at school, so the sportiness was always there. But netball was my life. Like I would have played it every day, morning to night. I just loved it, and I still do love it. And I think, well, I don't know. I think sometimes if it was a thing here, would I be doing athletics? Do you know what I mean? Because I do love netball, but no, I do. I love my athletics now. It is good. Like
you mentioned the Mary Peters track there. I remember actually being at the Mary Peters track. Not too many people will know this. In fact, I don't know if anybody knows this. But just whenever you've mentioned there about coming second in the high jump, I came second in the high jump the whole way up through school because I was in the same class as Nigel Morrison.
Right.
And Nigel's a big, tall lad, like.
Right.
And I'm Joe Average at 5'10", so I could, I was jumping just a wee bit above my eyebrows, height wise, and getting over it that way. So I always said to Nigel, if you could jump the height of your eyebrows, you'd be doing better than me. Even though he was winning, I had to get something on him.
I know.
But we went to the Mary Peters track, and me and Nigel Morrison were the two lads were. We had discovered Iron Maiden and Metallica and stuff at this stage, like so. We were lying over in the corner smoking fags, waiting for the under 14 high jump. So it wasn't exactly it wasn't a proud moment, but I think I got the bronze medal actually that day. But I'm sure Morrison picked up gold.
Yeah.
But there's something I think for our age group, remembering back on to the TV when Daley Thompson was doing the decathlon and all that sort of stuff, and the track and field that we would have watched when we were kids on the TV.
I know it's so true. Like I actually love Daley Thompson and all the athletes. Like it was good to watch, wasn't it?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But I've never been at the Mary Peters track, but I just think there's just something lovely about. I don't know what it is because we have to go to Tullamore as well for the All Irelands, and like. It is literally just a stadium, which is fair enough with the track and stuff, but I think where the Mary Peters is, it's just lovely setting. And, it is, there's something about it, but that's a good memory. No, I've never been up smoking at it now.
And I wouldn't advise it. So you mentioned there just about your netballing days. So did you continue with your sport right from school the whole way through adulthood, or was there getting married and settling down and having kids and all that sort of stuff getting in the way, or what?
Oh God, no! It's long started before that. I played netball up until maybe 5th year in St Bridget's, and then coming around the age of maybe 6, I think I left St Bridget's when I was 6th year. I left St Bridget's in 1989. It's like I'm not even going to come back. It's impressed myself. And then I kind of went off the rails for about I don't know how many years. And when I was 18 I moved to England.
Right.
Me and a friend of mine moved to England because all I was doing here, I wasn't working, I wasn't doing anything. I was going out every weekend. She had a dole check one weekend and I had a dole check so we alternated, and that was our night out in the Clock Bar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, I had enough of this and we went to England, and my friend, she came home but I stayed, and I actually ended up staying in England for about 7 years. Met some amazing friends there, but eventually came home and still was partying and drinking, and like I loved drinking. Like drinking was my favourite thing. And then I met Mark, and drinking was his favourite thing. And I remember his sister saying to me about, that's why you used to get on so well, because you loved drink as much as each other. And we kind of laughed that off, and when we look back now, it really wasn't that funny. Like, it was good. But we were going to go down the road that we were going to go down. Like I had a drunk alcohol out of a sock, And then it eventually got to the point where it was like, I was drinking maybe 3 and 4 nights in the week, and I was never an alcoholic, but I do know I was on the road to that. And I was a binge drinker, and then for one thing and another, I ended up I asked my doctor to be referred to the addictions unit, where I went out once a week, and I actually met a man, Michael Hand. He was my therapist, and I remember him asking me he says, what do you want to get from this? And I said, well, I want to control my drinking. And I don't remember a lot of our conversations, but I remember him, he says, Orla, controlling drink is like controlling diarrhea. It's not going to happen. And I was like, right. So then we talked through, and he was on about binge drinking and what binge drinking was, and he says, a bottle of wine's binge drinking, and I was like, fuck. I says, a bottle of wine's my starter. Do you know what I mean?
That's your warm-up.
That's my warm-up. Like, if I was drinking in my house at 6, 8 o'clock in the morning, I was still drinking. You know, and I didn't want my children growing up with an alcoholic parent. You know, I just didn't want that. And every so often, these thoughts would come into your head, and like, I'm not drinking this weekend, and then you would be drinking. You know, so anyway, it ended up then, Michael said to me, I want you to not drink for 3 months. And I was like, what? For 3 months? So again, I don't know what it is. Once I make a decision to do something, I'll do it. Yeah. So I decided there and then, I said, right, I'm going to do this. So 3 months passed, and after that I didn't even want to drink. And I stayed with him for about 6 months altogether. Yeah. And I've never drank. That was it'll be 18 years ago now, this October, that I haven't had a drink. And
good on you.
Do you know what? God knows where my life would be. I just think God knows where my children's life would be, because, you know, when they're growing up with an alcoholic parent, I'm in survival mode. Like, I was in survival mode, and all the work that I've done myself now, like, I was so lost in life. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that was just my coping mechanism. But no, it was the best thing I did. And then that's when I started running. So I replaced alcohol with running. And actually, before that, my brother-in-law had a gym, and I went to him for a while. But then I took up running, and I remember doing it wasn't a 5k at the time, it was the 4-mile run. Right. And you went up the Calvin Road, you know, the older route. So anyway, I thought, frigate, sure, I haven't really done any training, but sure, I'll run it just to get it done. But I ran the whole thing, I couldn't believe it. So then me and a friend of mine decided then, because obviously you go from 4 mile, we were going to run a marathon. So you went from 4 miles to a marathon.
As you do, yeah.
So that's the natural progression.
Yeah. How hard could it be?
But you know what? We didn't do half the training, but we got over the finish line. And it was actually, I had been off the drink a year. So in October 2007, I ran Dublin Marathon. Well, I'll use the word run. I'll use that term very loosely. It was like walk, run from about 15, 17 miles. But again, it was more to do with mindset. And it was like, if you put your mind to something, you can do it. And that was my benchmark. And that has always been from where I started. So it was like a case of that you put your mind to it and you'll do it. You know?
So was that way of thinking something that was always there for you, or did you have to wake up someday and think, right, no more, from now on this is the way it's going to be? Because I know for me, I would have struggled with self-esteem and with belief in myself, and I kind of did my sort of change and completed the Ironman in a way that it was kind of to prove to myself that if I put my mind to something, I can do it. Yeah. And that's how I had to try and prove that, by doing something wacky and a bit crazy.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it was something that you had maybe already in you. Were you able to tap into that sort of quite quickly, or did it take a bit of work?
It took a bit of work. It did take a bit of work, but again, if I decide to do something, I'll do it. Like, if I had a crawl the last 10 mile that marathon, I was doing it. Like, there was no other option other than getting over that finish line, and that was it. Yeah. I suppose then it's just a case of, I suppose now, I didn't realise I had that mindset, because I never really had to think about it. Because I just done what I did and just got into bad habits, and then it was like one day I was like, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? Where are you going in life?
But you know what's pretty cool now is whenever we are at this side of it, and we understand and know it to be true, that whenever we put our minds to something, we can fucking do it.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty cool place to be,
Oh,
isn't
there
it?
you go. Without a doubt. Yeah. And I've got to the point now where, first of all, you have to want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you want to do it, you'll find a way. Because I was asked there recently to do a boxing event, that Fight for Life, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So then I found that I wasn't as committed to it, but I went in and done a bit of sparring and ended up with a black eye. And
That'll happen when you do boxing.
that'll happen.
People
I don't
punch you in
mind.
the face.
I don't mind getting punched in the face. You see, the more you punch me in the face, the more I want to punch you back.
Oh, Jesus
and that's just the way I am.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a bit of a bulldog like that. I think, is that growing up with Strathroy? I don't know.
There's a bit of the bulldog in us all then.
Oh, God. You just had to learn to stand up for yourself. But no, I didn't have the 100% commitment. And I had to say, Cahill, look, I'm going to pull out because I'm either 100% or nothing at all.
Yeah.
And if I can't give it 100%, then I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And especially something like that, you have to train for it. You can't just...
You just don't turn up and 3 minutes doesn't sound like much,
No.
but whenever you're exerting yourself to that level
Without
and being
a doubt.
attacked and your adrenaline's going
Yeah.
and everything, it's a big ask.
It is, and I'd already done 3 of them. So I just thought, nah, it's and I've got to the point too where making the right decision for me is okay,
Yeah.
regardless, and I think everybody needs to get to that. Don't people please. If it doesn't suit you, don't do it.
Yeah.
Do not do it, because you've just got one life. This is your life, and you have to do what pleases you in life. So that's where I'm at. And I always say I've got to the point where I'm unapologetically me.
That's a good place to be,
It
Orla,
is.
and I think it's sound advice. The idea that we're all very quick to say yes and to please others and to play to the crowd, and the more and more that you do that, the less time you have, or you're neglecting the time that you could be working on yourself.
Absolutely.
By ticking boxes for other people,
Mm-hmm.
who will just allow you to continue to do that.
Without a
Do you know what I mean?
Without a doubt, yeah. So no, I have no problem with that. I don't even know if I was ever a people pleaser. Maybe a bit, but no. I don't know. I don't know if it's the work that I've done on myself over the last so many years, or maybe it's just me really tuning into who I am. But like my dad's partner said to me one time, she says, I'd love to be like you. And my dad was like, no, not all like Orla. He says, maybe a wee bit like Orla, but not. He says, one Orla's enough.
Well, I think I'll speak for a lot of people whenever I'll say there's a lot to be said for your unapologetic honesty, and my advice would be don't change.
I wouldn't have had that.
No. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play a tune here now, and I've got a great one in mind, inspired by that flashback to Daley Thompson. You remember that ad? That was the Lucozade ad back in the day. Daley Thompson getting out of the blocks and giving her Dixie. That must be a bit like you must be the female version of Daley Thompson now, are you?
I'm going to listen to that song now before I get under the blocks my next competition. I'm going to PB.
Daley Thompson, he was a machine. I remember watching him, and I think he was one of the reasons I actually got into high jump.
Oh, was it I?
And then we used to be down, and do you remember Beakers?
Yes. I was never in Beakers. Mark has always...
Your fine husband Mark will remember Beakers very fondly. That's wherever all the
degenerates
degenerates from the town. We used to hang out there and talk shite, smoke fags, and play arcade games. And Daley Thompson's Decathlon was one of the games.
Oh, yes.
And Mexico 86 and all that stuff, Kung Fu Master and all that sort of stuff. Brilliant stuff. And simpler times too.
Yeah, I know. Mark puts them games up on the TV sometimes, and like trying to fit in Calvin, and they'd be looking, what's that there? Mark, this is what I used to have to play. He's kidding me.
Yeah.
But he says they were mighty. Like,
that's it.
Best days.
And you had to put 10p in to get a go on it, and when you lost, you went right back to the start.
Yeah.
None of this picking up where you left
No,
off.
where you left off is right.
Kids nowadays have it too handy.
In more ways than one.
I'm going to bring you round. We got sidetracked there by Daley Thompson's shorts. And I wanted to chat to you about triathlon because you have you've obviously you were in the tri club for a period of time. Talk me through some of your highs and lows, or what you've learned about triathlon, or what got you into triathlon.
Do you know what? I don't even know how I got into triathlon. Or I remember saying to Mark one time I'd love to do triathlon. Now where that thought even came into my head, I don't know. And I remember our wedding anniversary, he was like, come here, he took me out to the front of the house and he bought me a bike. And I was like, oh shit, now I really have to do a triathlon. So, and I remember Aisling Irvine, I had got to know Aisling through netball, and she just happened to join the tri club at the same time. Like, we didn't join together, but we just happened to join around the same time. So for the first year, me and her would head away in the car and all the stuff in the back. It was usually Dave's big pickup truck and the two bikes in the back, and us chatting away and doing our first triathlons together. We had great times. But I think it must have been 2011 that I start the tri club. I think I'd done my first tri in Sligo, and it was April 2011.
Right.
I remember the first time, it was very small at that time, and I remember one Saturday morning I decided to go to the cycling, to this the biking. It was all these lads, and Peter Scavendon was there, and Pete Neal, and I didn't really know anybody else, and I was like quite shy in the background. But they all took off like nutjobs, and like only I think Pete felt really sorry for me. He stayed with me. I can't remember where we didn't go out of town or anything. It was just like a couple of loops up the Drumnachilly Road and then down the Cookstown Road.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got to the entrance of Killyclare, I was like, Pete, I'm away. Thanks very much. See you later. So poor Peter Scavendon texted me that night and he says, Orla, I'm so sorry, I didn't realise that you were there. So I says, I don't know what's worse, Peter, that you went on without me, or you thought that I was one of the men. But you know, it was a great club. I never really had any lows in the triathlon when I was doing triathlons. It was all good. It was a great bunch. It's obviously massive now. Like, there's loads of people. I see, because I love looking at photographs and stuff, and you see so many people. It's so good to see it expanding so much. But Peter would have been the chairman, and Conor Netta, and Sean Healy, he's still about. And yeah, it was great times. When I started, I couldn't even swim. It was an old pool, 25 metres, and I remember doing 25 metres, and I was like, I looked at Conor, I was like, how do you breathe? Do you know what I mean? So he had to teach me how to breathe underwater and everything, and then eventually, you know, you just get stronger in the swimming and stuff. But I had a lot of good memories apart from, I remember doing an Olympic. I only ever done one Olympic, and I hated it. And I don't know even what happened that day, and I thought, I'm never doing that again. But I loved the sprints. I done Grimsport half Ironman, and that was the most I'd ever done. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I remember me and Connor's driving up, and he was saying, now remember, you haven't done your biking as much as you should have done, and don't be around the people passing you. I was like, I will not care. Like. And we had to do 3 loops, and there's a young cuddy in one of the she was doing a bit of marshmallow, and I remember the last time I was passing her, I was like, thanks very much for your support, but I'm so glad I don't have to see you anymore. That's how seriously I took my travelling. Yeah. So yeah, and then at that time as well, I was going to therapy, and eventually then I realised, because at that stage when I look back, it didn't matter what was going on in my house. I had to be out doing my triathlon training. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I had to get it done. Pure avoidance, you know, for my own shit. And I remember one day I was sitting in one of my therapy sessions, and it was like, oh my God, we realised I am literally running away from my problems. And then the notion and the passion for the triathlons kind of faded away, because I had to deal with my shit. Right. It was really weird, and it's not that I ended up hating it, or it was just like a natural transition. I had done that now, and it served its purpose, but now I have to do this. But it was that, I will always remember that realisation. It's like, right, so that's what I'm doing. So there's times I would see myself, if I'm doing something, it's like, right, what are you avoiding here? Call myself out on my own bullshit. So, but that was very important, and that was a big realisation for me. And now when I'm going to do the athletics, I do it because I want to do it. It's not that I didn't want to do triathlon, that's not the case. And it's not that I never enjoyed it, because I loved it. I loved the club. I loved being part of the club. It was just so welcoming, you know. And even on a Wednesday night, like Peter Skellington went around and shook everybody's hand. And if he didn't see or if he knew, he would have texted you. Didn't get shaking your hand tonight, but you done great. Well done.
Yeah.
You know, and I loved being part of that there. And I was just a brilliant group. But at the time, I just had other stuff that I needed to deal with, and I didn't have the time to do that with the triathlon then. I just had to deal with my own shit. So that kind of took me away from that. But again, there was no regret, no nothing, you know. But you never know what notion I could take. I could wake up some morning and think, I think I might do an Ironman.
And it might well have been just with the demands of triathlon and with it being fairly complicated in the sense that there was 3 disciplines and there was an extra level of commitment required with regards to training, that you maybe thought to yourself, or maybe there was just a sense that that you're putting all your eggs into this, and you know.
Yeah. So
as much as it maybe wasn't at the right time, it certainly had a positive outcome for you personally.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
So
without a doubt. And you know what? It's like I always say, the amount of people that you meet through sport and through like triathlons and, you know, friendships. Like I have so many friendships with people like that you would have never, like, when would you ever meet these people unless you were doing triathlons or else you were doing running or do you know what I mean? So you kind of like there's never no regret.
No.
But it was good, like, and I did enjoy it, and like I say, great bunch of people. Such a good bunch of people to be around, like.
Oh, absolutely. And they still are.
Yeah.
One of my fond memories of you whenever you were in the tri club was your constant whinging about how cold and rotten Loch McCrory Lake was.
Oh my god, I hated cold water.
You used to hate getting in there.
Oh, I was like a brat. Absolute drama queen.
And was that because it was just cold, or was it because you've already kind of hinted at it that maybe the swimming just wasn't up to scratch, or what was it?
You know what? It's not that my swimming wasn't. At the start it was. See open water swimming, see Ashley swimming in Loch McCrory. It was one of my favourite things. It was the most. And this is more to do with sport. It's to do with just losing yourself in nature.
Yes, I'm with you.
And I absolutely, once I get over the whole drama of being cold, it's like, do you remember, I don't know if you were about the time we done the longest day triathlon, were you about the it might have been 2012. So they organised the longest day triathlon, and I think we were in the water at 10 to 4 in the morning. Right. So Glenn Heaney has recorded it, and all you can hear is me getting into the water very quietly, and
as you can imagine.
So Michael Phillips and who else was it? Oh, I can't remember. I can't think of his name. They stayed with me and got me all calm, and you know, I was hyperventilating, and they got me all calm. And then the next thing, then I was swimming, and I was like, "Where are Paddy Devlin?" I was like, "Where are them lads?" So I kind of just swam on with them, and they were like, "Get out of the water," and they were like, "Thanks very much. We got you nice and calm, got you settled, and you just swam on without us."
Just went on.
I was like, "Well, I didn't do it on purpose." But I, complete drama queen. It was like after my first sea swim too, and a lot more. I was so focusing on how cold the water was, I didn't even see how choppy it was. And I'm not even joking. I was, you know the way you swim sideways when you're saving somebody's life? That's the way I was swimming.
Yes.
And I got out of the water, and I remember saying to the marshal, I think I actually made up a few swimming strokes in there. It was unbelievable, because every time I went to breathe, water splashed in my face.
You got a wee slap in the face from the Atlantic.
But again, I wouldn't put my hand up to be taken out. I just thought, nah, you'll get it done. So I just swam sideways.
Good enough.
And that was it. Got the job done. But no, I have to say, and it's one of the things that I need to get over. And it's like, stop being such a drama queen. It's only a feeling. Like, being cold is just a feeling.
Yeah.
But I love open water swimming. Is actually one of my favourites. I don't know what it is. I just love being in that water and just that feeling of, it's just a freedom. And the only other time I felt like that was when I played netball. or I was a rave and maybe taking a ecstasy tablet. So I'd rather go swimming in the loch.
Definitely.
You know.
And have you ever thought about just putting the wetsuit on you for a wee swim? Does the notion ever cross your mind? God, I'd love that's a queer day for a wee swim. No, nah. It's not on the radar at all.
Lucy McDermott's always come up with me and I'm like, right, well. I probably will now. It's a wee bit warmer because I've been away. God, I don't know how many years I've been away from the cold water, and it's just climatising myself to get back into it again.
And it's still nippy.
Yeah, and then you just think, Orla, shut the fuck up and just get in the water and stop to carry on.
Quit being a drama queen.
Yes,
just get on.
Exactly. I'll say that to myself, and then I'll be an absolute drama queen when we get to it. But I loved open water.
I was in the loch yesterday. Was God knows whenever whoever's listening to this is going to be listening to it, but it was Bank Holiday Monday. And I just went up to the loch. It was 10 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't really know what sort of distance I was going to do. I had this notion that I'll do two laps. I ended up doing 3 laps, but I was the only person in the lake, and it was just lovely.
Aye.
It's just really, really nice to be in the water, isn't it? Like,
I don't know what it is.
Because your brain sort of switches off.
Yeah.
You lose a wee sense of time, and you lose a wee sense of your worries and your woes. And I think if we can find that in anything, go at it.
It's just there's just a calmness or like an escape. It's like a meditation.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So at the minute, then you're kind of choice for losing yourself or that meditative state you're getting at the minute then from your hurdling and your track work.
Although if you heard me potty mouth sometimes in the track, there's not a lot of meditation going on.
I would say there'd be a few choice mantras being spat out.
Fuck. It's like, I'm not even joking, right? 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago we were at the Donegal Masters, right? And there was me and Tina doing hurdles, just the two of us. So I got my first hurdle perfect. Second hurdle I stuttered and I went, oh fuck. And the boys were long jumping way down the track, and Fabian said to me that he heard it, and I was like, did you hear that way down there? And he goes, yeah. And then I heard Tina say fuck. But I don't care. Everybody's used to me now. I was like, I'm going to try and not be as sarcastic. And Trevor's like, nah, just be yourself.
You can't. It's like you can't control that.
No.
Can't control the verbal diarrhea either.
No.
I know that to be true myself.
And you know what? You might not say something, but then my facial expression just lets me down the back.
Tells it all.
It's never like, don't make a facial expression. Don't make it. Just don't do anything. But nah.
No. Top tip then: don't be taking up playing poker then, because you'll just give it all away.
No, that wouldn't be for me. I have to be out, and that would be just too be bored.
Well, here's a good question for you, right? Joking aside, and in all seriousness, when you're at the starting and you're getting yourself ready, you're in the final of the hurdles. Describe what you're feeling at that point. What's your physical body feeling? What's your mind feeling emotionally? Where are you? Or is some sort of a wee zone?
Yeah, you have to try and get into the zone, especially when you're doing hurdles. And your heart's pumping. Do you know what I mean? Because if you false start, it's not as bad now, but in Masters, if you false started, you would get a red flag, you'd be out. Whereas now you get a second chance.
Right.
And you don't want to stutter in your start because you want to get away out of the blocks as fast as you can. But your heart is racing and you're just like going through your head, right? Jump first hurdle, 1, 2, 3, jump, 1, 2, 3, jump, 1, 2, 3, jump. And that's what was going on in my head because I can do 3 straight now, so you can get into a good rhythm. But I usually find once I get over the first, second hurdle, I'm in the rhythm, so I'm not too bad. And then I just try and make myself get faster and faster and faster. But Trevor was actually chatting to me today. He wants me to come up to Lifford because I'm jumping too high. He sent me a photograph of me jumping over this hurdle, and he says, and today we are training for senior hurdles because the senior hurdles are like way up to my rib. It's like they make me, I can't watch them. but jumping far too high, so you're risking too much time. So that's how technical it is.
Right.
But
you want to be just skimming that
skimming
hurdle,
over
don't you,
it.
with your heel, isn't it? The heel kind of hits.
Well, you try not to hit it, but you want to run through it rather than over it.
Aye, yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll zone in on that a bit. Trevor is, they had a league there at the weekend, him and all the boys from Harriers, and actually done really well. They came second last year and they won it this year, so he's been focusing on his hurdles and stuff, so he's taken me and Tina up to look for him Saturday because he's Strabane, and he'll go through our hurdles with him, so good luck to him.
So at the point of getting yourself ready for the on your marks, you're in a mindset where, are you telling yourself, I'm going to give this a good go, or are you saying I'm going to win this? I'm interested to find out what you're thinking.
I think once I get into the blocks, I can just switch into focus mode. And I can't hear anything. And it's just like, right, you're going to jump every single hurdle and you're going to do it perfect and you're going to run as fast as you can. And that winning doesn't even enter my head. I would rather, it's not that I'd rather, but see, getting a PB, it's like winning an Olympic gold medal. It's just that you're striving for all the time, because you're getting older and like you're not getting slower. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean.
Which is great.
Uh-huh. So
that would be for me. It's not that it doesn't matter. The medals are an absolute bonus for me, and it's class that I am winning these medals. Like, but it's a PD is like, it's my first and main goal. Like, obviously I'm competitive. Like, I'm that competitive. I would compete against Mark. That's how competitive I am. So if we're racing together, the race is on. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's not that I'm going to she's a nice girl, I'll let her, like, no, if I can beat people, I'm going to beat them. You know, but I'm not going to throw my toys out of the pram if I don't. You know, or I'll say to somebody, like there's a girl, Margaret, she's in my age group, and she just put me in the 100 metres last year, and I said, you was harder on your back, you know, love. Just bring it on, you know. But the crack's great. That's what it's like with the Masters.
Good healthy.
It's good healthy banter.
Yeah.
But no, so that's, I can, and I joke and I lark about, but once I'm down in them blocks, it's like, right, it's race time and it's game on.
So there is a side to you then where you do absolutely take yourself seriously. And when you do get into that zone and you know that you're lining up, you know that if you get this right, if I get my first two hurdles over, if I get into that 1, 2, 3, the rest will take care of itself, and I'm in with a shout of a gold medal.
Yeah.
And that's, I just wanted to sound that out.
Yeah.
Because I wanted you to hear that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we started the conversation at the very beginning of the conversation. You were saying things about, you know, I'm a bit blasé and a bit. It's worthwhile just every so often hearing that.
Yeah, true.
Because maybe, and you've already said it. Maybe it's because we're Irish, and maybe it is.
Yeah.
But we really don't take enough time to take stock and the counter blessings and to say, do you know what? Fucking well done me, like, you know. So
I know.
So well done you.
Oh, thank you. I know I am. I do. You know, when I do say I'm blasé, I am very proud of all my achievements. You know, and I am, no matter what. It is. It is, because I've had to earn that gold medal. And I'm not taking away from doing my triathlon days, or even half marathons or whatever, but like I have gold medals, of silver medals, of bronze medals, but I earned it. Everybody earns a medal. I don't mean it like that, but I had to win it.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? I had to win it.
Yeah.
But like I say, I'm not going to throw my toys out of the pram if I don't. I'll just be like, right, she is not going to do that to me again. I'm joking.
The other part of it then is, as much as you're competitive against others, are you as competitive, or maybe are you a wee bit too hard on yourself at times too, do you think?
Aye.
Are you maybe a wee bit over critical at times?
I think.
Would you be like a bear with a sore head if you come home and if you think that you haven't done what you could have? Would you? No,
I wouldn't be like that. But I know that I would be, and this is something that I've worked on. And when I say work on, like I would go to Edel Mitchell for kinesiology, and then through her I go to a lady that does inner child work. So I've been doing a lot of work this past, I suppose, 4 years on me. And actually one of the things came up was, why, if it's not perfect, why is it not good enough? Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
And it's like, be okay with it not being perfect. What is perfect?
I tell you what it is. Unachievable.
Yeah, but it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, and so it's like...
It's setting yourself up for a fail in many respects.
Yeah.
'Cause it's so difficult just to feel okay or to be alright at something or to be good at something.
To be good at something.
Excel at something. You can't be perfect.
You can't be perfect, and that is one of the things that I have been... It's like, Adele would say to me so many times, like, right, I'm doing that again, aren't I? But now I'm more aware of it. You know, and I'm probably not as bad, but I suppose it's just a learned behaviour, and I suppose it's just something that I do. But
I think we all do it. You know what I mean? I think if you look back at our childhood, you know, we're all like 70s and 80s, and you know the majority of people listening to this will be born in the 70s or the 80s, and back then it was about being well behaved and having good manners and eating with your fork and knife and having your elbows tucked in, you know, all these things. And children were to be seen and not to be heard, and you know your place, and you know we were kind of voiceless, and there was a powerlessness, and you were reared and expected to do what you were told, and there was no old back chat idea. You got a clip around the ear. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's no surprise that the onus of being well turned out and not to be bringing shame to the house and all that sort of stuff kind of was the way that we brought it. And nobody explained it to us along the way, so we kind of just carried that.
Yeah.
You know, it's taken us to kind of grow up and have kids of our own and look at it and reflect and wonder about, God, if I do the same as what was done to me, then the children will turn out the same as me, and do I want that?
I know.
You know what I mean? So
I know.
we're getting a bit deep and
I know, but I kind of get a bit deep. I have got quite deep this last few years, and you know, just finding out who I really am as a person. And because for years, I suppose, with the drinking and like I said, you know, when I was in England, I was a raver. You know, we didn't drink alcohol at raves, but and I was just so lost. And I look back at that girl, and just now I just kind of hold her and hug her, and it's going to be okay. And I know that's very deep, but this is the reconnection that I've been doing with my inner child woman. And we're all a bit lost in life sometimes, and like I was so lost, and like I said before, I've been to hell and back quite a few times, and all I ever wanted in life was for somebody to look after me. That's all I wanted. Like, one of the reason why I left England was because I was in a very violent relationship where I probably would have been beaten at least on a weekly basis, Thankfully, I wasn't with this person for too long, but I remember just thinking, I was too afraid to even ring home in case he found out, because he would threaten. I had my eldest son at the time, and he said, if you ever leave me, I will kill you, and I'll kill the baby, and I'll kill myself. And I was terrified, like.
Absolutely.
And people are so shocked. Did you? Yeah, I did. I got that low. I had low self-esteem, and I just remember thinking, how am I going to get out of this? So eventually, anyway, his family helped me, and I got home. And then a year later, I met Mark, and now fast forward 20 odd years later, I do have somebody that looks after me. We look after each other. We have, like, Mark used to drink as well, but that's his story to tell. But you know, thankfully the two of us don't drink, and we've made an amazing life together. And he is my rock. And I know it's a bit cliche, but you know, he's taught me to be kinder, whereas I was very harsh and very defensive all the time. And I suppose it's because of certain situations in life, but you know, he's made me kinder. He's made me just be proud. Like, he's proud of me, and he makes me proud of myself. So the relationship that we have is, I'm just so blessed, because I do think back to 25, 26, 27 years ago, and like, I was in hell. I didn't, like, the first thing that man ever did to me, broke my nose. And for 3 weeks, my nose was swollen, my eyes were black. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Mm-hmm.
But then and people say, you should have just left. It's not that easy. You know, when you have this man that's so strong and is capable of doing anything, you're not going to leave. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I did get out, and there's times I look back and I think, well, it's made me who I am, and it has. And like when I think back, I was just on an absolute self-sabotage, because the Orla now would not have tolerated that.
Yeah.
But the Orla then, she didn't love herself enough to not put up with that. So that was where she was at in life. So, and I would go through it all again if I ended up exactly where I am now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, when I say I've been to hell and back a few times, and I have, like, but
yeah.
I have the most amazing support. I've got a fantastic family. I have an amazing husband. I've got fantastic children, and my life's really good, you know. So everything else, my biggest success that I've made in my life is contentment within me and me loving me, because I never did, and that was the thing. I never loved who I was, and that's why I was always striving for perfection, because I was never good enough. In my head, I was never good enough. But now it's like, do you know what? I'm okay. I do like who I am, and it doesn't matter if people don't like me. That's all right, because I know I'm about personality, and I'm okay with that. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And one of the things that you said there as well was that your wish to be cared for by someone else, and you've left out a very important person in that, and that's yourself. Because what you have done is you've learned to prioritise yourself. Mm-hmm. You've learned to take care of yourself. You've done the work, you know, on yourself. You've understood it. And as much as you want to hug that wee girl who was an earlier version of you, she got you through some stuff.
Without a doubt.
You know.
Without a doubt.
And there's a sort of a loss when you move through phases and you say goodbye to that. And it's very, very difficult sometimes to get rid of that old version of you, because that older version of you was the protective shield that got you through all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like me getting rid of my Iron Maiden t-shirt.
Yes.
It's obviously not.
It's
in
like
the
your
same
security
league.
blanket.
It's that security thing.
But it is the same thing. It's that security blanket. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of like with me with my drinking. Mm-hmm. It was like letting go of that security blanket and being put outside your circle. I'm sure you felt it too when you stopped drinking. Like you have this circle of friends and everybody done the same thing, and then when you decide to not drink, you're standing on the outside looking in. It's like, what do I do now? Where am I? Who am I?
Aye, that's it. You know, I haven't been to a heavy metal concert since.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I will or not.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I would do. Because I had a way of, like, it wasn't just about going to listen to the music. It was the crack on the bus and the boozing and the carry on and the crack and the banter and, you know, the slagging and all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that I even want to. You know, I've been there, done that. I wouldn't change a thing. I had the most amazing time with all them gigs, and you know, but I was doing it for the crowd. I was playing to them as much, you know what I mean? Mm. So it wasn't really. Now that it is more authentic.
Aye. So if you think like when you think back to that time, how happy were you really?
Really, aye.
Do you know what I mean?
You know.
Yeah. And it's like all them times that I drank, how happy was I really?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wasn't, and I know I wasn't, and even for a long time. But now it's got to, and don't get me wrong, my life, like when I say I have an amazing life, life's hard, and it is hard. Like I have a wee mum who's got Alzheimer's in a nursing home, you know, and I miss her dearly. Like every day you lose bits of her, but there's so much more to be positive about. Like she's well looked after, she's content in her own wee world, and I'm in a good mindset now that I'm not like there's days I could be driving in the car and the song comes on, and by the time I get to the house I'm crying. And I was like, what's wrong? I said, it's just a song, I'm alright. And then it'll be grand.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just the way I deal with it, because I always try and see the positive in life.
And you're very true to yourself as well.
Yeah.
You know, you know yourself inside out and back to front. Mm-hmm. And there's something to be said about that too. You know, whenever we kind of own it.
Yeah.
The good, the bad and the ugly, as I refer to. You know, and we can try and play to the good and hope that the other stuff kind of keeps its place.
It'll rear its head. Like this is, I do a lot of stuff, and even, you know, with Fidel, like, I absolutely love kinesiology. It is my go-to thing. I just love it. And me, like when Adele does the kinesiology, we work so much out together because of what comes up. And like there could be something come up and it's like, fuck, I haven't thought about that for years. But you know, your body's very clever at holding on to things, you know. But it's, and even if somebody triggers you, like I would say now, if somebody annoys me, it's like, right, what has triggered in me? What do I need to go and heal? Instead of saying, they're fuckers, it's nothing to do with them. It's to do with me and what is triggered.
Why did I behave in that way? Or why did I react like that? Or I'm so annoyed about that. What's all that about?
Yeah. Like a fella a couple of weeks ago gave me wild bad manners. He was actually quite aggressive to his girlfriend in the car. And they were driving behind me. And I was leaving beer off to my eldest boy in Strathroy. And they happened to park behind me. And I looked at her because of my experience. And I was like, because he was shouting in her face. And I was like, are you okay? And I knew by her face. She said, oh, we're just delivering. I said, oh, that's okay. So he got out of the path. What are you doing? Mind your own fucking business. And this was the time I had a black eye. And he says, fuck off, you wee slut with your black eye. And I was like, you did not just say that to me. And then I just thought, right, just get away. Now, if that had been a year ago, he was standing in between the car and the door. I would have been over and crushed him between the car and the door. Right. But now it's like, why is he... I was like, why are you so angry? What's wrong with you? Why are you so mad? Do you know what I mean? And then I got home and Mark, like I was raging with him at the same time and just thought, what's going on in his life that he is that angry? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't personal to me. So I didn't take it personal. So, and there's part of me would love to get in contact with him to see if he'd like to come to the gym. Do you know what I mean? Aye. But I don't know if he would. If I see him again, I will have a conversation with him if he has a conversation with me. But that's where I'm at in life. Now, don't get me wrong, there's days, he just probably got me on a good day. There might be one day that's like, nah, I don't fucking think so. But them days they were a lot of the time, but now it's like I just see people and I just see the anger and I just see a mirror sometimes. It's like, maybe I wasn't that angry, but you know, it's like I've been there, like just give him a break. God knows what's happened to him in his life, do you know what I mean? So I think if we can be a bit more compassionate with each other, it will just get by a lot better, like especially the young ones. I know. You know,
the bit about it for me was the impact of your choices and your lifestyle that has on your children. You know, and now both our families we're blessed to have children, I suppose, from the start. But when they're looking up to their mummy now, they're looking at a mum who's on point, who turns up, who's emotionally available to them, who's strong, independent, who's a winner, who's got discipline, who's fit, healthy, and around the house. Yeah. You know, and they see parents together, towing the same line, backing each other up, and they're a unit, and that's more valuable a lesson. And the thing that brings that to the next level for me is sport. Yeah. And that the idea of training and about wanting to be the best version of yourself, because if you apply that to yourself on an emotional level as you would to try and get your PB, you know, in the process of trying to get your PB, you're reinforcing all the positive aspects about you as a person emotionally, because you're telling yourself, I'm getting better, I'm getting fitter, I'm getting faster, I'm a wee bit more stronger, I can do this, I am doing this, I want it.
And I'm worthy of it.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's, I think sport probably saved me from myself. So it did, because it was a great option for me to do instead of drinking. Like, and even like throughout from, I suppose I stopped drinking in 2006, so from 2007 on I've been doing something. And then when Mark stopped drinking, I remember when Mark stopped drinking, I was doing triathlons and I had loads of endurance and cycling and, you know, felt pretty fit. And I says, come on out for a run. And I said, come out for a run. He was fucking about 10 strides ahead, and I was like, Dad, I was reaching.
What the hell?
But so for him then, like our daughter said to us, this is a few years ago, and she might have been maybe a young teen, 12, 13. She says, I want a husband like my daddy. And I just thought, you will never get a better compliment than that.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And my children know that, I know they don't tell me everything, but they know that me and Mark are both very approachable and will work the situation out. Like my daughter's expecting, she's 15 weeks pregnant, and she was in her room and she was crying, and I came up and Calvin, my other son, was there, and he was like, tell her. No, I'm not telling you. So eventually he said to me, go and guess. Can you not guess, Mum? And I looked at her. I said, you're not pregnant, are you? And she started crying. She goes, I'm so sorry. I was like, it's okay. We'll work it out. Do you know what I mean? And sure, it's the best news. And then Mark came up and he says, what's wrong? So everybody's crying. What's wrong? I said, you're going to be a granddad. And he goes, sure, what's wrong with that? And he goes, what? But we're both delighted, and she's good. And news. You know what? It's fantastic news. We're over the moon. So, yeah, that's why I was bringing around pineapple earlier, because she's squirting on him. She's squirting on him anyway. But she's a good girl. So, yeah, it's just a new era now to start. And like where we are in mindset, you know, they're going to be even better parents. Do you know what I mean? Because they haven't dealt with my shit. They haven't had to deal with that. Because I often say, like Charlie Kate would say to me when she would go out, she says, oh, Mum, I wish you drank. And I was like, no, you don't. You do not wish out. And you think it's a well crack. No, it's not. You wouldn't wish that, because it's not just going out and have a bit of crack with your mum and one night drinking. It would be a lot more than that. So, you know, she thinks it was all about roses, and it's not. So they can be in a better position, mindset wise, which is just fantastic. It's breaking your ancestral chain, isn't it?
It is that intergenerational.
And that's getting very deep, but it is. I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah.
You know, definitely on. Just cut the cycle.
Take control, take charge, take responsibility.
Absolutely.
For your own shit.
Yeah.
If you can, and if it's available to you to get your shit in order, get it in order, and attempt to protect your bloodline.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Without a doubt. Yeah, absolutely.
And the other thing that people sometimes would get a wee bit kind of overwhelmed whenever they think about things, and they begin to beat themselves up, and they get into a very negative mindset, and they think that they're useless and I can't change them, no goodness, that and the other. And one of the most important lessons that we can teach our children and other people and peers and friends is that if you are struggling, it is possible to change, and it is possible to come through a dark period and to survive it as such.
Without a doubt. That's one thing I want to do now in the gym, is to get people, like we want to transform people's minds. Not us to transform their minds, but I want people to get thinking about themselves differently. You know, and the thought of this came to me one time when I was giving this girl a compliment of how lean she had got, and of course she went to the one negative. I was like, why could you not take the compliment? No. I said, take the compliment. And I said, you don't have to do anything. I said, you don't even have to say anything. But just say thank you, or just take it. So I said to her then, I said, can you look in the mirror and tell yourself that you're proud of you? And she goes, no. And I said, well, I want you to start doing that there. She said, I'm not doing that there. I said, just try. I said, close the door. Nobody has to see you. So I want people to start thinking about themselves differently, and maybe if they don't feel proud of themselves, maybe think, well, why do I not feel proud of myself? What can I do to make myself feel proud of who I am? Just to plant the seeds. Like, I'm not going to fix them, that's up to them, and some people might never do it, some people might, but you plant wee seeds here and there, and you don't bombard people, but just for them, in a lovely, fantastic atmosphere where you're doing your exercise, you know yourself, exercise, you're in a bad mood, you go for a run, the mood's gone, it's a better mood.
Yeah.
So it's in such a positive environment that I do want people to start feeling better about who they are. For them to realise, maybe I need to do this, or why do I not feel like this, or, and like I say, maybe they won't ever do it, but it is just planting seeds, just here and there and every so often.
Yeah.
You know?
As long as you keep, you know, moving forward with that mindset, the people that are going to take that information and use it. It's as if you are going to be facilitating the environment and the safety.
Yeah.
You know, and it's about empowering people, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, without a doubt. It is, because they don't see their true potential.
And I think, I know, speaking as a man, I know men find it difficult sometimes to talk about their feelings. And women, particularly over here in Ireland, can't take a compliment.
I know.
And the classic example is, God, that's a nice dress. And the immediate response is, this old thing, £7 out of done. You know, why can't they just say, oh, thanks very much?
I know, it is unreal.
Put themselves down and belittle the thing.
Complete programmed. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's mad to think that you can't take a compliment. And like, why, it's like, I think it's the whole thing of when you're younger, she loves herself. He loves himself. Who does he think he is? And that's just that mindset, is it? I don't know. Funny, me and Adele and Mitchell again have had this conversation about that, and it's really hard to take a compliment.
I know.
People don't know how to do that, and that's really sad.
It is a wee bit sad, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's like, you know, you see people. Do you know one of my favourite things about being back in the gym is seeing people standing a wee bit taller and having a wee bit more confidence in themselves, and it's just the best feeling. Like, and there's no arrogance there. Mark's created it for the last 3 years, like, you know yourself. It's such a lovely environment, and it's like a wee community, and everybody wants everybody to succeed in it. Do you know what I mean? So even seeing people, like I've seen people coming in and like at a low level of fitness, and now they're just getting stronger all the time, and you see them getting more motivated, and it's just such a rewarding part of the job. I'm not one of these ones, and each their own for these transformations and all that crack. That's or we're not into 1 rep maxes or anything like that. And if you want to do that, we will point you in the right direction of gyms, because again, the gyms are a wee community about the town, and one gym is not going to suit one person, or do you know what I mean? But I want people to have confidence and higher self-esteem within themselves, and that's the work that they have to do, and call them out in their own bullshit, which I will have no problem doing.
No bother, woman.
But you know what? Everybody knows me now, and they know what way I am, and they keep coming back, so it must be okay.
And you have been there, done that, and worn the t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, life has thrown some curveballs at you, and you've come through some hard times, and here you are, baiting away.
Baiting away, yeah.
Winning.
Yeah.
Collecting gold medals on the way.
Yeah.
Let's have a wee shout out then, just about when you've mentioned the gym there. It just leads us nicely into that. So we're talking about MC fitness, and now you're expanding out a wee bit now as well. Give us a wee flavour of what MC fitness and the MC spin thing's all about.
Right, so MC fitness has been Mark's kind of baby this last 3 years, and he's been specialising in calisthenics, which is basically strengthening your body with your own body. You know, that's the way I would describe it. Like, don't get me wrong, there's weight shoes and kettlebells and things like that, but that's mainly what it is. And the MC spin, so where Mark is situated now with his gym, that's been completely emptied out, and we're putting in spin bikes. So that's where the spin bikes, that will be a spin studio all the time. Okay. When we're moving into a bigger place. And again, it will be personal training groups up to, we're thinking maybe 12, 14, which seems a lot, but the both of us are going to be in the gym at the one time. Mark's getting a new boss. I've told him that. He's like, like, you're getting a new boss. So, you know, the two of us will be there so we can keep an eye. I think 14 people for one person is just too much. There's no personal training there. Aye. So with the two of us in the one class, you know, we'll work Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday nights together. We can both keep an eye, so it'll be a mixture of weights and calisthenics and cardio as well. And just a bit of fun. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And maybe every so often we'll have like a wee games day. Like on a Saturday morning we're going to have a drop-in class, so everybody, maybe up until 20 people, can drop in, and we might have maybe 2 or 3 teams and have wee challenges. You know, we're trying to make it fun. But yeah, the calisthenics, a lot of people think, because Mark is so good at the calisthenics. I'm like an apprentice of showing you like where you begin, and Mark's like how you can progress. But I'm okay with that. Like that doesn't bother me. But a lot of people, but it is true, without a doubt. And a lot of people think, no, I'm not going to train the Mark, and it's like he doesn't. It's not what you think it is. Like Mark is actually born to do what he's doing right now. Like he's born to do it. But again, it's watching people who maybe couldn't do a certain thing, and then a couple of weeks later they can do it, and to see that on their face, it's just the joy. But a lot of people, it seems to be getting busier and busier and busier, because I suppose it's word of mouth. Like Mark's never advertised, so it's word of mouth. And we're just waiting now on getting the keys for the new place to get set up. So brilliant. Yeah, we'll have a bigger space. And again, but we don't want a big massive space, because it has to be wanted to be a nice, keep the nice energy that it already has.
That intimate feel.
Yeah. And again, everybody working together, like as a team, and groups getting to know each other and feeling comfortable. Because you know yourself, like I know what it's like coming into a gym and you're thinking 20 things. Oh my God, everybody's in there and they're really fit, and I'm going to be the worst. And Like it took me 8 weeks to go to the try running group on a Wednesday night. 8 weeks, every week I was like, right, I'm definitely going. And then come Wednesday, I was like, no, I have to take such and such. No, I can't go to that. 8 weeks it took me.
Yeah.
So I know what it feels like to be apprehensive, but the hardest part is getting through the door. Because once you're through the door, everybody will say hello to you. Do you know what I mean? And it's just we want to provide a friendly atmosphere where nobody feels out of place and everybody feels welcome. And that's the main thing. The exercise and getting stronger is obviously a goal, but just to come in and feel that you're wanted, and do you know what I mean?
You know, I can actually vouch for the gym, because I use the gym, and I go to Mark on a Thursday morning, and I participate in a small group. And the calisthenics, I used to be in a couple of different gyms around the town too, and there's something about the calisthenics in terms of it's just yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and you might think, God, it'll be handy enough. Well, I can tell you, it is far from handy.
It is not handy. No.
And you're coming out of that the next day, and you're a wee bit sore in places. Now, you're never actually smashed with pain. I just want to clarify that, because I have had experiences in the past where I've went to a gym and I have been just smashed to pieces, and I've been in significant pain to the point where I couldn't run a bath, never mind run a 5k.
Yeah.
And that's something to be avoided.
I think
Mark's classes are designed in a way that you can only do so many of the things, if you can do them at all. But the thing I like about it as well is that he introduces things that can help you and to support your body weight, like the resistance bands on some of the things that are a wee bit more challenging for people that maybe don't have the upper body strength at that point.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of 3 months into my MC fitness journey as such, and I've noticed big changes with regards to my mobility, my strength, technique, even something as simple as a press up, where I would have had my hands sprayed away out, like a bird's wings or something, and now they're tight in, elbows tucked in, military style. And Mark has taught me that, and what that has taught me is I wasn't as strong in that area, and now I am. And where I've gained strength from doing those exercises, I'm seeing results in my swim and my stamina on the bike, and in my running. And it's from doing the stuff that we would have done when we were kids.
Exactly.
Playing about, jumping about, springing about.
Monkey bars. All
that sort of stuff.
Without a doubt. Absolutely.
Getting yourself up and down off the ground.
Exactly.
How hard could that be?
I know.
Well, go to Mark's class and see how friggin' hard that can be.
There's some of them, and you know, there's some of the simplest things that you try and do, and it's like, oh my God, this is a little bitch. And like, it's doing a pull up with a band. It would be easier, like, than some of the things, but it's all to do with I suppose the stabilising muscles at a joint. to strengthen that joint and keep it good, you know. And I have found, even with my, like I was saying, I love shot put. Like since I started training with Mark, because when Mark first opened, I actually stayed with James McSorley. That's how I was for Mark. But I loved James McSorley's training. But then he was in Bear, and I just then eventually finished with him. But anyway, when I was with James, and this is not taken away from James, it was just his different time for training. He's an amazing wee coach, like he's brilliant. But my PB would have been around 7:26, 7:30 for shot put. So last year, or maybe the year before, I threw 8:26 in shot put.
Jesus,
right?
Big difference there.
2 weeks ago, I threw 8:86 in my shot put.
Unreal.
And that's all. And I do believe that it's to do with his training, because it gets everywhere. All your different little muscles that you use. And I suppose you would find it too, even with swimming's very technical.
Aye.
You know, and you have to be on point with it. And even, you know, the muscles around the shoulders, like to keep you stronger.
That's
right.
right.
Like you say, it gives you more stamina.
Yeah. Your traditional gym setup and class setups are looking at the usual suspects of muscle groups.
Yeah.
Whereas this training, Mark's training in MC Fitness, hits every single muscle because of the amount of movement that's required.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always rotating, you're always stretching, you're always reaching beyond.
Yeah.
So all those tiny muscles, all down your side, and you know.
And that's where you feel the pain. And like you say, it's not overly bad, but the pain where you never would have got that.
And it's that lovely pain, isn't it? It's like, oh, that's the stuff. Must have been doing something right there.
But it is. No, it's very, very good. I have to say, it's just growing in strength, you know.
Long may it continue.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
If anybody wants to get in touch with yourself or Mark to make inquiries just about the gym or just about any advice that you can offer them, what's the best way that they can do that?
They could probably just go on Facebook into MC Fitness page, or if they want even to contact me, don't contact Mark, he's a nightmare. No, I'm only joking.
Behind every good man.
But you know what, in all fairness, he is a lot busier. He would do a lot more of the programming than I would and stuff, because he knows what he wants and he knows what he's doing. But no, either of us on Facebook, but probably MC Fitness, I would say, would be the main one, if they wanted to get in contact.
Well, Orla, it's been great chatting to you.
Likewise.
Very, very interesting conversation, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who will take a lot from it.
Yeah.
Keep on being Orla Colton.
Oh, I intend to.
And I just want to wish you and Mark continued success and all the best for the new gym. I'm absolutely sure it'll be a rip-roaring success.
Thank you, Mickey. I really appreciate that.
It can't be any other way. Before we sign off, your brief prior to the podcast was to pick a cool rock song. So what are we going to sign off on?
Right, well, I was going to do The Trooper, right? But now, because we were chatting about our children, I'm thinking Sweet Child of Mine.
Sweet Child of Mine. Quality.
Yeah.
Thank you, Orla.
Thank you, Mickey.